All right, so India is at the forefront of this AI Impact Summit. Is India also on the bus, the global bus for AI models, whether it's generational models or whether it is how it's going to transform the workplace? I'm now joined by a very special guest. Ivana Bartoletti is the Chief AI Governance Officer at Wipro. Thank you very much, ma'am, for speaking with us. You know, most of the frontier AI models in the world right now are built either in the US or in China by big tech companies like Google and OpenAI, etc., DeepSeek. Where does India fit in? There was this whole debate about India does not have the capability to build a foundational model, or what it needs to do is to build on top of the existing foundational models. Where do you and a company like Wipro stand on that front?
Yes, so it's a really interesting debate. And today at the AI Summit, there was a really buzzing atmosphere with loads of people. And out of all the summits I've been to, certainly this one is the one that shines for its openness to students, to different organizations. So I really have to say that is very positive. I think that the countries that will succeed with AI and will do so not just for the AI capabilities that are going to obviously improve, but they're going to do so with their institutional capacity to scale AI across the country and to govern that deployment. India certainly has an advantage in this. And the advantage is that India has driven some digital infrastructure initiatives. Think of UPI, demonstrated that he has and he knows how to scale and how to deliver innovation in a country that is so large. If you combine that with talent, if you combine that with the amount of data that India produces, roughly 20% of the world data, if you combine that with the innovation in data centers across the supply chain of AI, because AI is not just LLMs. AI is data centers, AI is minerals, AI is chips. That is where the strength comes from. And I think this is very important because we can build all the models that we want, but the issue is how to scale. And the issue is how to develop use cases and systems and applications that really serve the communities, the country, and I think this is where the real the advantage lies.
How does India do that? You said it has scale, it has talent, of course, it has 20% of the world's data, but how does India also ensure that there is semiconductor supply chain reliabilities, there is the compute infrastructure for this, and also the capital that is required? I mean, right now, AI is being developed with massive capital allocation by either the big tech companies in the US or by the Chinese state. India does not necessarily have that kind of levels of capital. What India has is it's labor rich. So how does that compete with each other? Does that complement each other?
There are many ways to innovate. And there are many ways that countries are competing is what is called a race in artificial intelligence. And it's very difficult to compare the US model with the China model, the European model, the India. Every model is different and is rooted into a history of investment, relationship between public and private, venture capital. So it's very different and it's hard to compete. What is certainly important is that it's the capacity that India is demonstrated to bring innovation at scale, and to that is very important. Together with the talent, together with the ability to produce smaller models. We don't have to necessarily do large models.
Okay.
To the modern models that, for example, are also enriched with data coming from the country, representing the linguistic diversity of this country, applications that can be use cases and not just models, but also applications that can respond to the real necessities of the country, and without
Okay.
forgetting the large investment in startups.
I also want to ask you, since you represent Wipro and it's an IT services giant here in this country, there's this huge debate that's been going on for the last few years, but certainly it's been accelerated, I think, in the last few days, that IT will get killed or IT services will get killed. This whole business model, which has served India really well, was built on labor arbitrage. It was built on large workforces. Today, if AI can automate coding, testing, documenting, even consultation, then what are we looking at as the future of the IT and IT services industry? Is it going to be redundant 5 years from now?
Yeah, it's a good question. I think it's early to say, but I don't think that the client centricity model can be lost, in the sense that that innovation is very much has to be very much client centric, has to be very much based on the client and the organization's capabilities, capacity, risk approach, and technical infrastructure. So I think that element is very, very important. So I think there is a little bit of rush on to an exaggeration into this. I think, of course, there'll be changes and the market will evolve, but I think client centricity will remain number one priority.
All right. Ivana Bartoletti, Chief AI Governance Officer at Wipro, thank you very much for joining us on News 18. Thank you.